Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Kool-Aid Podcast. Today we're going to be reviewing Barca's and Espanyol's game. Before we go on, guys, of course, I want to introduce my co-host Alvaro.
Yo,
And I want to say happy holidays to you guys. We're also a bit sorry that we haven't been uploading as much as we normally do. With the holidays and the family, it's been a little hard. Um, but again, before we say anything else, we wanted to remind the channel of Pele's passing a couple days ago, and just how important he was to football, the impact he had, and all the players and people who just loved the game that he touched in their hearts. He gave us his love for the game, and he made football what it is today. So doesn't matter who you consider the greatest of all time. He's up there, and I hope he rests in peace. And my condolences to his family and all the people close to him, of course. But on a lighter note, well, what a game today, right? I thought it was a shame, to be honest. I thought Barca played terribly. Not the entire game, but they did have their moments where they were a bit slow. They had their moments where, on the contrary, they were very decisive with the ball. They were creating chances, but I don't know. I think they were very rusty today. I don't know. What do you think, Alvaro?
first of all, I don't know where the team's health is at, player by player, but the starting 11 was pretty.
It was solid.
For me, it was underwhelming. I
Really,
mean,
you think so?
right back, um, I, I can understand Xavi's reasoning of maybe resting the World Cup players a little bit.
Right.
They've had, I think they've had enough time to rest.
Mm.
Um, you should not. I mean, if we're looking at it here, you should not have started Sergio Roberto over Conde. You should not have started Marco Alonso at center back, having Araujo sit out the entire World Cup, but we will think that Araujo will be ready by now.
Yeah, and
And
I think. Well, before I interrupt you, I think he'll be ready in a matter of weeks, right? So, but continue.
and this makes me think if Uruguay was about to rush him to start in the World Cup, that means that he had to be close by then. So I feel like he should be close by now. That
Right.
injury has been a mystery. A mystery. And then up top in the middle, that's fine. Frankie, Pedri, Gavi. That's the midfield we envision for years to come. And the attack, I mean, we all at this point in the season we all prefer Dembele over Rafinha. They're interchangeable to Xavi, so we'll see how it
Yeah.
goes.
Um. Yeah. I
But
don't know. Like, I think overall, sorry to interrupt. I think the main problem in this game was, well, we're not we're gonna talk about the refereeing in this game, which I thought was horrible. It was a shame. But
16 yellow cards.
yeah, 60. You mean 16?
Yeah, yeah, 16, 16.
Oh yeah, I heard 60.
16
Um.
yellow cards.
Right. I thought it was
Two
horrible.
records.
Yeah. Well,
That's
to
crazy.
Jordi Alba and
And Vini de Souza.
that's also right. I think the problem with the team is what I said. I think they're rusty. They haven't played together a game like that. You lose the rhythm. But Espanyol isn't a team you can be at home. Tying to them at home, really? I heard an interesting stat line. Espanyol had lost every single game they have played at Camp Nou since 2009, and that's considering the Ronald Koeman season, by Valverde season, and all the other coaches we've had. And I think this is horrible. Like, how are we gonna drop points like that? I mean, now we're tied with Real Madrid. I know we're still top of the board, but that doesn't mean anything. This is where we exploit. Bless you. This is where we exploit the lead that we already have. We unnecessarily lost points today. Although I think, yes, mainly the attack, I think was a little underwhelming because
No, no, no. That's what I'm
defensively,
saying.
yeah,
When you see that the offensive production came from a Christensen assist and Alonso goal, that's all you got. That's all you gotta know.
yeah,
Every player in the attack should have some contribution. Espanyol is not a good team.
yeah. They're a relegation team right now.
They're not. They should not be in La Liga. They're a relegation team. Cam No coming back from the break. First of all, I don't agree with Xavi's tactic for this game. I feel like there were no injuries to the team. in the World Cup, you should start the people that they know how need to start. You could not take the foot off the gas because look what happened. Now we're tied with Madrid.
Mm, yeah,
But yeah, when you see all the production is coming from the back, that's very sad against an Espanyol team. That
yeah.
no
And the
matter how
thing
much they put
is,
in the bus, they can't do much.
yeah, and the goal we scored was a very scrappy one, right? It was a corner. Lewandowski didn't header it properly, and it landed right next to Christensen, who headed it, and then Alonso headed it into the goal. But Espanyol had terrible defense, terrible, and their attack was so underwhelming the entire game. Like this is one of those games that we put 4, 5, 6 goals past them. There was no excuse. I think Xavi's main mistake was it was thinking that this was going to be an easy game, that he didn't need to put in the best players because he did, right? When
No,
they
look,
tied, he
and
decided
right
to bring
now,
it.
yeah, when they tie, right now I'm looking at the timing of the substitutions. He brought, I'm gonna go like he brought Conde in for Sergio Roberto in minute
Mm.
82.
Yeah, well, that was also tactical because Sergio Roberto did have a yellow, and this
Yeah,
guy is
but
notorious for giving out
tactically or not
cards.
tactically, Sergio Roberto should not be in minute 82 in a game that's tied. Conde should have
Mm.
been there earlier, first of all, because yes, Conde's a defender. Tactically, it can help the attack.
No,
We
no, you're right.
seen
You're right.
we seen the impact that Conde had for France.
Mm.
I'm looking at the other ones. The feature for Dembele, I think Dembele should have started the game. He had a very solid World Cup. Rafinha didn't do shit in the World Cup. So I
Well, I
mean,
don't think he was terrible with Brazil, but he wasn't
Dembele
great.
was way better. And the Xavi, I saw a report saying that Barcelona was gonna choose between Rafinha and Dembele next summer. One of them will leave, one of them will stay. If
Dembele.
Rafinha stays over Dembele, that's the biggest mistake you can make.
We've made it clear, right? We've had our problems with Dembele. Well, not us, right? But
No,
the team
we,
because
we, we have
he
bashed
sometimes
him. We have bashed him since last season because
right. No, like
his
I'm not
Spain
gonna come
deserved.
out here. Yeah, I'm not gonna come out here and defend him or make him seem like he's the best at what he does because he's not. But um, when you look at it, when you look at the whole picture, yes, Dembele is allowed to be desired sometimes, but even okay, because the inconsistency is his biggest problem. But he's such a talented player when he's
No,
on.
but
And
we always
we saw this with France. Like there were games where he would just carry the attack on the right side, and he opened so much space. His crossing can be good, and his sheer pace
and we always
was
said
famous.
this. His biggest issue was consistency staying healthy. He has consistently stayed healthy for over a season.
Yeah, no. Now it's just what
Now
I'm
it's
talking about is playing consistency, like
right,
playing
right,
well.
right. And the only way he's gonna do this by getting starter minutes.
Mm,
Rafinha, they're trying to give Rafinha every chance to prove himself. Madrid side with you. You can't give
yeah,
the lead away.
but you know what? I don't think it's even fair to talk this badly about Rafinha. I think Lewandowski had a
No, I mean,
terrible game today.
yeah, he'll no, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Rafinha because that was in the attack. I didn't mind Fati starting.
Mm,
He deserves to prove a little bit. I did not mind Lewandowski starting. Lewandowski is our starter. He's our captain in the top. He had a bad game, but strategically, who knows if Dembele had been starting there if something else could have happened in the first half.
yeah, I mean it's a big what if, but I agree with you. Another player that I thought was extremely underwhelming was Ansu Fati. He has not gotten even close to his actual the form that he should be at. And I don't want to hear any more the excuse of yeah he's been injured. He's been healthy for a while now, and he's
And
been
look,
getting his minutes in the
Luis
tank.
Enrique barely play him in the World Cup.
He knew what he was doing.
Maybe he saw something. Maybe they know what.
And look, that's not to talk about Luis Enrique because Spain played horribly this World Cup. I think they were one of the teams that let me down the most just because of how much they surprised everyone with how they played against Costa Rica, Germany. But when I look at it now, I say, well, if Luis Enrique didn't want him, it's for a reason. And people will talk about Barca favoritism in the Spain side, but it goes beyond that, right? He's choosing not to play Ansu Fati, and he's one of what we think is one of the most talented players in that team. Now, I think the best way Barca can attack right now, I'd probably say on left wing, Ferran Torres, right wing Dembele, and middle striker Lewandowski.
I
And
mean,
Ferran
look,
Torres is another one that Sorry to interrupt, but with Spain, I don't think he played well at all. He had, I think, a couple goals, one from a penalty, another one from no normal goal
And
against
look,
Costa Rica. So I don't know.
I'm gonna go back to last winter trade market. Um, we saw that reporters are saying that Xavi, I mean, they were between Dani Olmo and Ferran Torres to bring into Barca.
Mm.
We saw him go the Ferran Torres route. We saw a World Cup that Dani Olmo had.
Yeah, I mean that's also right, but I
So
feel like
no,
when
no
you,
problem. I mean,
yeah,
if Ferran Torres does not do more this season,
yeah, he's got to show more, and I like him. I think he's a great player,
if
but
he
he,
doesn't
he's
show
got to he's got to
more,
show more.
people are gonna ask, do you make the right decision instead of Dani Olmo?
Mm. Yeah,
So
and I think the reason he might have picked him, he played under Guardiola, Ferran Torres at
yeah.
City, prem proven player,
Yeah,
and
but look, Olmo. I mean,
yeah, Olmo was cooking. I
La
agree with you with
Masia.
Spain.
He came with he came out from Barca,
Mm.
and there's the issue. We don't have a consistent winger.
We don't, and well,
And Lewandowski, he had a terrible game today.
yeah, no, he missed a very clear chance
We
towards the end.
expect him to be Lewandowski that we know, but we don't have a
No, of course,
consistent winger.
bad
And
games come, but I think yeah,
you see it's an issue when you can have a consistent attack in three straight games. Xavi always
mm,
trying to put someone different to start in the attack. That's a problem.
yeah. Xavi doesn't have his starting 11 set, and
That's
we
a
said
problem.
this. He doesn't have a fixed starting 11.
And I know Sergio Busquets came into Mene 52.
Yeah, but he had a good game. He had a
He
good
had a
game
game.
when he came in.
They have to realize that Frankie deserves every chance that I know he got subbed out late. He got subbed out at minute 82, so he did have his minutes. But I props to Xavi for realizing that Frankie, Pedri, Gavi should be the starting midfield. Please keep it that way.
Yeah, for sure. And it's really unfortunate because he's such a talented player, and there's a lot of teams that are after him currently. So again, this is something you got to worry about when looking at the possible market in the future. Teams interested. We don't give him enough play time. He could look for a club that does give that to him and gives him a, a bigger starting role. But I don't see that as a problem. I think he had a decent game. I thought Gavi out of the three main probably had the best game. Some might disagree with me. I don't think Pedri had a great game. As a matter of fact, I think since the World Cup, and I'm gonna talk about them individually. I think Gavi has had a better showcase. If
You say that, and look how early Luhevig and Xavi take him out of the game.
that's fine because he likes the experience sometimes and also the creativity that they're
Yeah,
looking
but I
for.
mean,
But listen,
the only way to get these games
um,
is to play in late minutes.
right? But Gavi, remember, he's also a very young player. They're not gonna play him
No,
90 minutes.
he's
They're not gonna
he's
make the same mistake they
no,
made with Pedri.
no, you know what? Now I think about it, he's a hothead, and this referee's an idiot. So he could probably won himself a record late into the game by
Right,
playing
that
late.
I was also worried,
So
and
that's true.
surprisingly, he was one of the most calm players. But
That's
this
true.
is the thing, right? Um, Gavi is your. It's that his role is hard to define, but if I had to say, your box to box ball
Yeah,
winning midfielder,
definitely.
right? Huh?
No, definitely.
Yeah,
Pedri's game, and that's why they go good together. Pedri's game is to slow it down. Gavi's game is to speed it up.
right. But that's my problem, right? I think Pedri, as of late, has not been playing to the level that he should be playing. Why do I say this? If you see the game today, he gave up a lot of silly balls. Um, he wasn't very decisive. I think he's been back passing a lot and side passing. And I heard the commentator say, he needs to be a little bit out wide, get the ball, create chances, look for the long passes. I just think he needs to be taking more risks, right? And this is why people compare him to Jamal Musiala and Jude Bellingham as of late, saying that the other two are better because they play a more aggressive football. They like creating more chances, going up more. I don't think that's necessarily Pedri's style, but the Pedri I see now versus the Pedri I saw a couple months ago, obviously a year ago, is a little different. I think he's been too cautious in the last few games he's played. I think he's got to be more decisive going forward and taking more risk. And I know he's a great ball passer and he can hold possession well, which I know Xavi likes that, but he can do better, I think.
You know what I think? I feel like they need to rely in order for Pedri's game to go a little more back to normality. They gotta rely a little more on Frankie
Mm.
slowing down the game. If we
Or
have
Pedri too, because I mean not Pedri, Gabi, because you did say something. He attacks a lot, but I don't think Gabi is necessarily the issue, nor is Frankie. I just think
but look,
maybe
look,
Pedri's
look,
lacking a little bit of
look.
confidence.
If this comparison is not fair on any level, but people are talking about it because it's the same team. Xavi, Iniesta, Pedri, Gavi. Iniesta, we can say, even though Pedri, his idol is Iniesta, his game is a little more similar to Xavi. And Gavi's game is a little more similar to Iniesta in terms of we saw Iniesta's aggressiveness showcase more than Xavi's,
Yeah,
and that's what
Xavi
I'm
was the
saying.
more
That's
calm
what I'm
one. That's
saying.
true.
It's not for comparison whatsoever because these two are kids. Xavi and Iniesta are goats,
Right, you
but
can't compare them yet.
but and that's what people got something in comparison. They're not the same players. But Gavi, he's with experience, he's gonna realize that he can be, and probably him being so box to box probably makes Xavi realize he's gonna be gassed out by minus 65, for example. He's gonna realize with experience that he can't just go box to box as aggressively as he does, even though he's a type of player. And Pedri, on the other hand, he's gonna need to restore some of that aggressiveness that he had earlier this season and last season, and maybe them playing more with Frankie because Busquets and Frankie are completely different CDMs.
Right, I mean,
And
Busquets,
Frankie
I say is the
and,
most unique CDM
and
that's ever
Frankie
existed.
Frankie's probably not even considered a CDM at this point, even though they play like that in 4-3-3.
I think Frankie is more box to box.
Right.
He's more of a
So
game.
they got to keep playing that trio as much as possible until they can build some chemistry. And if not, we see rumors of other CDMs coming to Barca. But as that's another story. They have to build that chemistry in the midfield. They're the youngest midfield in the world. They have to build that
Mm.
chemistry and make their own play style. If Tiki Taka is not the way, or if the Xavi way is not the way for the midfield, they have to figure it out.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, and then defensively, I think Barca didn't do a lot defensively
How
today.
did your Diaba play today? Because I didn't get to see much.
Jodiaba was actually decent today. I thought he had a pretty decent game. Gave some pretty decent crosses. He didn't do a lot. Neither did Sergio Roberto. I actually thought Sergio Roberto had a pretty good game himself. I mean, Marcos Alonso gave the penalty. It was really a silly foul. Like, I think, I get why they called it. There was a contact, but essentially, the striker, I forget his name for Espanyol, was in the box. He chipped it over the player, and as he's gonna go get it, Alonso was striking back, and he tips him a little bit in the striker's heel, and he falls. Like, I see the contact, but it was a very soft foul. Definitely, had this been the Prem or another like more physical league, I don't know if they would have called it, but it is what it is. Barca deserved the tie. At the end of the day, they played. They got the score that their playing style constituted today. That makes sense.
The
They
the,
got
the,
what they deserved.
the guys are playing Alonso center back. We had him as our salvation when we had everybody injured. The
Yeah,
guys are
no,
playing.
but listen. I honestly think the new Barca starting 11, and this is how it should be, and this is how I think Xavi would see it soon.
Yeah, I'm assuming injury free.
Injury free, of course, right? Everyone in full health. Your goalie obviously Ter Stegen. I you know what? He's been amazing this season. A penalty is a penalty
He's gonna be the captain. So
for sure. Left back Balde, when he came in the game, instant impact. Almost created a goal.
I would I would like to see Henrique play more in the World Cup. He played a good amount, but
Yeah,
I
he
would like
played
to see more.
little minutes. So Balde left back. Center backs, I want Christensen and Araujo. Eric Garcia, yes, he has a nice passing range, but his defense has been questionable.
Eric Garcia, he's becoming a plan C. If you're
Right.
playing Alonso over Eric Garcia, that's enough.
So Christensen and
And
Araujo, those are your two center backs. And I think that's great because Christensen is
he's
more
played great.
calm, better passer,
Mhm.
slows the game more. Araujo is more aggressive. I think they match each other perfectly. They're both tall and strong. Right back, I would probably say Conde.
Look,
I like Conde. Like,
look.
people say he's not creative. I
I've
think he
no,
has
no,
his
no.
moments.
I've heard. I know that Conde like complained at the start of the season him playing right back. France play him right back,
And he did a good job.
and so I better not hear anything from him saying that he was going to be right back in Barca because he played
Listen,
right back for the national team.
he's a good center back,
The,
right?
the, the,
But
the thing is that he's too big. He was not the physique of a right back. He's a big dude.
yeah,
Get used to it. Who
yeah,
knows
no.
if he becomes an even better defender than he already is at right back?
right now. And listen, we don't like Barca's problem isn't necessarily creativity. It's improving the defense. Well, I mean, we do have a great defense, but keeping the defense healthy. But more than that, it's finishing chances and creating more up top. Because midfield wise, we dominate the game. We got to start finishing more stuff. But right, so right back, Conde. Midfield, I would probably say Pedri, Gavi, De Jong.
At least for
Considering
now,
Bus-
we've heard about N'Golo Kante rumors, but at least
well,
for
I
now,
mean, but then we
I,
probably have to let go of De Jong, and I
I'm
wouldn't
not
really
even
like
sure if we can sign anybody in the winter.
whatever. And then up top, based on how everyone is currently playing, I have to say Ferran left wing, striker Leo, and right wing Dembele.
And,
But
and
we,
and
we
that's
gotta we gotta look.
no,
Listen, a
and
player I would
sadly,
probably look. Yeah,
that's a mediocre attack because
yeah.
no combination works. Dembele and
Mhm.
Rafinha at the same time, terrible. Ansu Fati in any combination has not worked. Torres is playing underwhelmingly right now. Like you said, it should be Dembele, Lewa, and Ferran until someone figures it
I
out.
a player that I would probably look at, and I don't. I feel we're not gonna get a lot of competition for is CJ. Um, he has his moments. Um,
He had a pretty solid
I know at
World Cup,
Chelsea he wasn't great.
but he had a pretty solid World Cup, so
He
people
had a
might
great
be up
World
for
Cup,
him.
I think. I think we gotta look at CJ. CJ is a good player. If you do want to get a defensive midfielder, Ambarat, I think is also a great player. The Moroccan side was great, and it was because of players like that. But yeah, and if you want to get another winger, so you have someone better than Ferran,
Look,
it's a little trickier.
thinking
But
these are the earliest not predictions decisions that should be made in the summer. Outflow Rafinha, you have to get a good a consistent ringer.
yeah,
Outflow Busquets, Barca legend, his time is done.
mm.
Go get an actual CDM, and we'll see what happens with Frankie because Frankie cannot keep playing bench. He's already said. And then at the back, the bell
the
sign to
pe-
me
the
depth.
people that we said, and I think we should invest in another fullback and another center back.
That's what I'm saying. At this point, depth. If they want to go for a pure fullback, Balde and Conde are gonna have limited minutes. But I mean, wins over limited minutes. So
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what we care about is results. We don't care.
exactly.
I mean, we like to see the game being played beautifully, and we like to see Barca playing with tiki taka, playing with their identity. But listen, if we have to park the bus to win the Champions League or win La Liga, so be it, right? Whatever it takes. And I think Xavi is getting to realize this more and more. The more disappointed he becomes with the performances and the players, and of course, today
The
was
more disappointed the fan base becomes with him. So
yeah.
and he realizes that he has to win a trophy this season.
No, and I think he will. I'm hopeful that we win La Liga, but you know,
Well, you know what? Let's
the,
hope
the
that.
terrible the terrible refereeing aside, I thought it was a bad game for Barca. And
At
what
home.
were you gonna say?
No, if we don't see Araujo starting this game, I better see a message by Xavi saying he's gonna be back the game after that. I
Right,
better see him
we'll
soon.
keep you guys updated on his fitness and on any news that we get about how he's doing, when he'll be available, and overall with the team. So thank you guys for tuning in again. We're sorry we haven't been uploading to our regular schedule, but we're gonna get back on it now that most of the holidays are done. Happy New Year to you guys and to your families. Hope you guys have a good one, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Take it easy, guys.
Thank you.